All right, I believe we are on the air. Let's get this going real quickly. Share it out to everybody who may be watching. Takes a little bit. There we go. I do see myself. I just want to make sure it's not doing that thing where it starts playing the video. All right, perfect. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of. There we go. I just want to make sure it's not doing that thing where it starts. You know that thing we were talking about just now? That. We'll fix it in post-production. We always do. All right, let's get this set up, ready to go. Share it around. Really excited for this weekend. Really excited for this week as a whole. Really excited for this upcoming several weeks ahead because there is a lot of great flag football action going down, and it's going to kick off with this weekend coming up. But we're going to be somewhere a little different. Usually we see us every week at either in Washington County or maybe we're down in Baltimore, DC, York, for MAFL, LMFFL, YAFL too, all over the place. But we're going to be somewhere different this weekend, somewhere special for an event that we talked about it last week. It means more than football. And this event, the 15th annual Lynn Lewis Women's Breast Cancer Awareness Tournament down at RFK Stadium, really excited for it. We're going to be covering it. Yeah, man. This is going to be great. And we're going to have several guests tonight to come on and talk about it. So without further ado, let's introduce a few of the guests who we have already on the call right now. This show is going to be strictly talking about the history of Lynn Lewis, the event itself, the history from where it first started, as well as where we will be this upcoming weekend at RFK Stadium down in Washington, D.C. Historic venue for a great event. I'm really excited for it. We'll be there Saturday morning to start. That'll be early on. We're going to try to get there as early as possible. We'll be broadcasting live here on Facebook, as well as trying to get the YouTube back up. We'll let you all know about the details when we can. Anyways, joining us right now, already here, is Miss Bonnie Page. Bonnie, it's good to see you tonight. Welcome to Blunt Talk.
Thank you, Joey. It's good to be here.
Miss Bonnie.
Good to see Miss Bonnie once again. It's been a bit, Bonnie. Glad to have you on the air. Once again, tell us, how's everything been as of late down in MAFL? I know you've been very busy this year, keeping up the league and everything else. Seems like a lot of things going down. I know there was a big weekend last week coming up, or last week we just had, and I know playoffs coming in a week from now. How's everything been down there with this past year?
It's not been too bad. We've had a lot of really good competition. We have a team that's really struggled to stay in and had to redo the schedule again. They ended up forfeiting their whole last week, this upcoming weekend. They're going to end up forfeiting due to player availability issues. But I think it's going to wrap up on the 23rd with a really wild playoff and championship day.
Really happy to hear, and really happy to hear about the action this weekend coming up at the Lynn Lewis tournament. Bonnie, you've been around the game of flag football forever. Give us some history on women's flag football going back to when you first came upon the scene.
I'm very new to women's flag football.
And that's it's crazy to think about because, Bonnie, you've been around the game of flag football for a very long time, going back almost to the 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, now that just really hurt, Joey.
But that just shows the career you've had and like the impact that you had on the sport and everything else. But yet, new to women's flag football, which has become one of the fastest growing sports for girls, not just adult girls, but girls growing up in America. Yes. We talked about it last year, Georgia passing legislation to allow high school girls flag football. And on that level, I think that's a great start to see that in public schools. And we talk about the growth of flag as a whole, usually when we talk about other styles, but here in women's sports, it's gotten major in recent years. You talk about the Olympics coming up soon. You talk about different schools offering scholarships now. It's become a huge deal. And this upcoming weekend, we're going to get an opportunity to have it on display. And I'm really excited to get out there. We were at UFFL Nationals, Ross, back in 2021, back in January. We actually just posted a few days ago the games we covered there. Lady Mob, Lady Dynamite, Chicago Chaos, Hustle.
That was my first experience with ladies flag football.
Down there in Nationals. Yeah. That's the beauty of tournaments. You're able to go out there and experience new things. And for the players, I think it's great that this upcoming weekend, there's going to be a great opportunity to be on display. And we're really excited to see some of the action. Like I said, it's been a while for us. We haven't covered a women's game going back to last year at Blick was the last one we were there for. They did a special women's game for that tournament. They're trying to grow that up there in York, PA as well. Give a shout out to them and what they've done in that region to grow women's flag football across the board over there. And what we're seeing grow right here in front of us. You talk about it, just the event alone, where we're at RFK Stadium, historic venue. You talk about the amount of great football held over the years, the amount of historic football. Now you're seeing a huge first for women and flag football with this tournament this upcoming weekend. We're really excited to see how everything unfolds. We don't have a schedule quite yet. We're going to be getting everything sorted out over the next few days, and we're going to be having coverage of everything all weekend long, beginning on Saturday morning down there at RFK. There's going to be a couple other media people there as well. Jerome Russo, Predator Productions, our guy Jerome. We worked with him on numerous occasions. A couple years ago at Nationals, he was down there with us covering it. We've covered numerous tournaments with him. Jerome and Predator Productions have been huge advocates for women's flag football over the course of the last few years. We've seen Jerome going out there. He's covering it not just on the adult level. We've seen him cover girls' youth tournaments out there. He's putting in the work to help grow the sport as well. Big shout out to him and all the work he has put in for this coming in, because you talk about it. So I just got an update. When we'll kick off, people ask, Friday at 2 p.m. So there should be some coverage Friday as well. Just got a notice in the group chat we have, getting everything kicked off. We're really excited. Got a couple more guests coming on as well. We'll be having more throughout the evening. Joining us also right now is Miss Michelle Nobles. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy, for having me.
Glad to be on here tonight. Michelle, tell everybody who you are.
My name is Michelle Nobles. I currently live in Atlanta. I played flag for about 27 years. I started in 93, co-ed, 7 women's screen. And when I moved to Atlanta, a few years after I moved, I started playing in the Atlanta League in 2004, 8 women's. For about last 5 years, up until about a year ago, I was the commissioner of the Atlanta Women's League under Mashonda and Mr. Zarek Foster. So I've been helping out with Lynn Lewis, helping Mashonda and Zarek for a while now. My team actually played in the very first one. This is our 15th year. So I played against Lynn's team. I had the honor of being around her and being able to experience her as a coach and as an opponent. So I'm here also speaking on behalf of Mashonda.
Tell us about the first tournament going back 15 years ago now, where you were a player, I believe.
I was. It was brand new. And just to give you a little background, if it's okay, Joey, to give a little background at Lynn to why Mashonda even started this tournament. So Lynn was an attorney from Brooklyn, New York, and she played tackle. She played flag, and she coached for many, many years. Her team in New York was called TNT. She was very well known across the women's flag community. She was known to be passionate, very feisty. She carried around a rule book with her while she coached, and even if you weren't near the field, you could probably hear her across the field challenging a ref. She knew her stuff, and she was not afraid to challenge the rules and challenge referees and officials. Over the years, the women's game has gained a lot more notoriety and respect, but back in the day, we kind of had to work our way through that. And she was one of the women that knew what she was doing, and she has been a face for many, many years. She was the face of women's flag. Lynn was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. At this time, she was kind of like a mentor to Mashonda. Mashonda was running a league in Atlanta. Mashonda has run the league in Atlanta for well over 20 years. And she kind of encouraged Mashonda to keep the women's platform going, to grow the sport. And Mashonda and Zarek created this tournament to honor her and to honor other women and families who fight the battle of breast cancer. For many, many years while Lynn was fighting her battle, she still remained as a coach and with her team and traveled all through her treatments. And she often said that this tournament was one of the reasons that she kept fighting. She wanted Mashonda to do this, and Mashonda and Zarek were able to do that. So the first one was, they kind of did the best that they could and started. There was a small number of teams. It was in Atlanta, and we're on year 15. A few years ago, we did lose Lynn, and this is our silver anniversary. So Mashonda, Zarek, and the entire flag community continue to honor her legacy, honor her family and friends and her team. The Lynn Lewis Foundation was created by Mashonda, and those funds and monies raised go to help those fighting and also the caregivers. So a lot of people forget how difficult of a job it is to care for your loved ones through a difficult time like that. So every year we've grown exponentially, and this year we have over 60 teams. This is probably the biggest all women's tournament in the country. We have five women contact, 5 women non-contact, 7 women screen. We have 8 women competitive, 8 women pro. And for the first year ever, we are offering a 35 and up division. Well over 35 and up, have been asking for that division for a while. And because it's brand new, there's only a few teams playing. So it's going to be the inaugural year of this division. It's already gaining some notoriety and popularity, and some other teams have expressed interest. So we're only going to have 4 teams this year. So we're just going to do an inaugural couple of games. And next year, we're hoping and believing that more teams are going to want to join. We want this to be, as you said, Joey, from when your daughter is 4 or 5 years old, she can start playing this sport in her town. That's our goal. And essentially, she can play all the way through her adult years and into the Olympics. She can receive a scholarship. It is not what it used to be. The doors have been broken down by people like Mashonda, like Zarek, like Lynn. And we have women from many leagues, tackle and flag, that are now coaching these collegiate programs, that are working hand in hand with the NFL in positions to promote the game. So that's a little bit of background on Lynn, why we do this. It's way more than just football, especially at our tournament. Like you said, it will be from Friday to Sunday. On Saturday, there's going to be a block party. So those of you that are local in DC, it's from 12 to 6. DJ Mem will be performing, and Kenny Sway will also be there performing on Saturday from 12 to 6. There'll be vendors, food. It's free admission, and it's $10 for parking.
I like it. This is going to be a really fun weekend up ahead. not just for players, but media, spectators, anybody who wants to come out there. And I'm encouraging everybody from the 9-man community down here in the DMV, up in Baltimore, even over here in Washington County. Come on over if you have time this weekend. Come down there and support, watch the live, share the lives, support. Want to say for the record, though, I do not have a daughter, just for clarification. Ross, however, he does have a newborn daughter who was just out here a few moments ago while we had the camera off while you were speaking. Ross is a football player as well. He's played many years, and he has 2 sons ahead, but I think it might be his daughter who might end up being the talented one in the end when it comes to the 3. And I'm glad she's going to get that opportunity to be out there and play one day.
I will tell you, Joey, I have a granddaughter who will be 7 next month, and I wish you'd get to meet her this weekend. She will be with her other grandmother this weekend, or I would have her out there. She would be my assistant for the entire weekend. Anytime my son comes, she's dressed, ready. I'm going to football. So, and she's trying to get on the field. So I am so excited that the women's game has gone and developed and moved forward like it has, because I think that's going to be a great opportunity for her to do something that she wants to do, because we took her to the Pro Football Hall of Fame a year and a half ago, and she was thoroughly disgusted that why were there not more women? Where are the girls, Nanny? We can do it. And she stomped her foot in the Hall of Fame and just looked at people and said, I don't get it. We need more girls here. So hopefully with people like you and Miss Shonda and Lynn and all the girls that I am just very excited and honored to meet this weekend, we're going to get more girls in a Hall of Fame.
And I'm really proud to be a part of this. We were supposed to head down there last year. Unfortunately, that was work conflicts getting in the way for me last second. I'm not able to make it. That was down in Miami, Florida. Where else has this event been at over the years for those who are here at this event for the first time and may not have seen it back in the day in their locale?
Several times. We've had a lot of them in Atlanta. Miami, it's been a few times in South Florida. I think this is the first one in DC. I may be wrong. I know next year we are going to be in Tempe, Arizona next year. So the women of the West Coast have been huge supporters of Mashonda and vice versa. And they have a lot it's grown a lot on the West Coast. So flag football, the meat of the women have been on the East Coast and the South. And the West has produced a whole bunch of really competitive teams. So Mashonda has been promising them that we would make it out there, and we will be out there next year. And we are partnering up with the Arizona Cardinals for some events that weekend as well.
Oh, okay. 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 Wow. That's all. Is there a venue selected yet, or is that
that's the Mashonda question?
Okay.
I just know in October of 2023, we will be in Tempe, Arizona. And her goal is to be in a different location across the United States every year.
I think that's a great goal, especially for the spread and growth of this game as time goes on. We talk about it. It's hard to really grow outside if you stay in one region. And if you get this across the country, this can inspire girls everywhere to take a step onto the field. And we talked about it. You and I talked earlier. Mm-hmm. It's growing in the youth sports. It's growing in adult sports. The kids coming up, the girls playing flag football as a youth now in different areas.
It's not the same. Like I know when I was young, I was the tomboy playing with all the boys. There's some place for every girl to play. These women, if you have not really, these women are badasses. You've got women out here that are not just, these women are D1 athletes that have finished their careers, D1, D2, D3 athletes, basketball players, volleyball players, track runners. they are all coming out here and elevating the sport to a place that it's just phenomenal to watch. I don't think I've always said what my goal in being a part of this movement is for one day that any woman or especially a girl says, oh, I played football, and to not get a response that say, really? Like with pads or like real football? You get that a lot. And a lot of women know what I'm saying, that it still happens where you're at work or you're out and somebody has no idea that it even exists. So that's changing and that's evolving. They're on women are on TV, but not only do you have elite athletes, but you have men who have always played their whole life who are coaching these women now. And it's not just a recreational thing. These teams are practicing 2 or 3 times a week on Saturdays. And these men are sharing their knowledge with women and watching women turn from softball and volleyball and basketball players and teaching them the few things they need to do to transition into this sport. So it's limitless. But the number of men that I've watched over the last 10 years transition from just being a player to now coaching women's team and trailblazing in that way has been really fun to watch as well.
I got a note from Mashonda in the chat. USA football will be there to scout for Team USA this weekend. For those who will be a player in attendance, you will have scouts out there for Team USA watching. So bring your A game, because this is going to be a ride. This is going to be an awesome tournament this weekend. And I do believe I have it. Yes, I do. The schedule for the different styles in front of me right now. Let's go ahead and pull that up. It's going to be kind of awkward because it's on a Google Chrome browser, but here's everything we have. As you see, it's on the web page. I will post a link right now in the comments section in a moment, actually. As you can tell, here's the different styles you're going to be having. 5v5 contact, 5v5 non-contact, 7v7 screen, 8v8 contact, 8v8 35 and over, and 8v8 pro and comp division. Sorry for contact once again. Anything you want to go over these divisions this upcoming weekend? Any teams that might be standing out?
I am not the person for that. I am an unbiased administrator. I live in Atlanta, so we have several teams in all those divisions. Atlanta will be represented throughout every division, so I'm not going to. I stay unbiased as an administrator.
What about some of the teams? Like, do you know like those teams specifically are coming up from Atlanta that that are there in general?
A lot. I can't even
Okay,
name.
so there's a lot. Okay,
Almost our entire league, with the exception of a couple teams, and we have a lot of women that play in our 8 women's teams that also play five women on contact and non-contact. And we have a 35 and up team, the Atlanta Legends, that is made up of women from all different teams. So there's not just
starting out Friday at 2:00. They'll be playing against the Deanwood Legends at Field 4. Okay.
And they've got a lot of heavy hitters too. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game because there's still women 35 and up. 35 is not like it used to be 35. There's a lot of these women that are in great shape. They still play actively year round. And these women have also played each other from across states for many years in the 8s divisions.
Going around checking out the different schedules, as you can see, 5v5 contact for women's, that's going to start Saturday, October 15th at about 7:00. Look out for it at field 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, etc. throughout that Saturday night for that first hour, at least.
And fives is the fastest growing division for women's over the last couple of years. The women's have tried it out and they're like, wait a minute. Okay, it moves fast. It's a short field. I think it's the fastest growing division.
See the schedule here for non-contact as well. They're going to be starting a little earlier on Saturday, 3:50. They'll be starting at the different fields on field 2 and field 3, which I'm assuming what's going to be happening would be that the field's being split up.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. From 7s to 5s, transitioning over. So same general area, just marked differently based on what it would be for 5-man.
Correct.
Women's in this case, sorry. A lot of good games here, a lot of them. Wow. So they'll be going all the way to 6 o'clock. A lot of good competition in non-contact. 7v7 screen for women's. That'll be Friday, 4:30. Starting with Virginia Elite and Pressure, Field 1. And Field 2 and 3 will also be hosting games as well. So Flow, Lady Supreme, Miami Live, Cleats and Cleavage. Go over to ABA Contacts for Women's. That'll be starting up Saturday morning, October 15th at about 10:35 in the morning. Auxiliary grass at the field. Auxiliary, I'm assuming, is that adjacent to RFK or is that?
There's fields right near the main like area. There's several, and then just right over next to there's 2 other fields. So we have 5, but they're all in close vicinity. There's all turf. I think there's 1 grass, maybe 2. I think there's 1 grass field, but they're all Mashonda has it all and Zarek have it all mapped out. There's lots of volunteers that are going to be at every field collecting scorecards, making sure everything is verified and entered into the system. All the brackets are ready to go. Excuse me. But yeah, everything's ready to go.
I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of great action, a lot of great games. Like I said, 35 and over. They're going to be starting on Friday, 2 o'clock. And then 8v8 women's contact comp division. That's going to be 8 a.m. bright and early Saturday morning with a whole slate of games right there. 4 to start out on Saturday morning. You got Atlanta Storm and the Passion, Virginia Vixens and the Athletes of Atlanta, Ladies of New Era versus Alter Egos, Oak City Phoenix versus Savage Sisters. And that'll be running all the way to about noon, 12 o'clock to roughly, depending how long the games end up run themselves. Yeah, this is going to be an awesome event this weekend. And with that, Saturday and Friday it's going to be pool play. Sunday will be all championships, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, Friday, the 35 and over, we'll have some championships on Friday. We'll have on Saturday, and then the remaining will be on Sunday. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. That's going to be great to be able to see who comes out and wins these tournaments coming up, competition coming all across the country for this. We'll have coverage all weekend. Like we said, we're getting down there Saturday morning. We're going to have a lot of games. There'll be a lot of other streamers as well. Predator Productions, LLC, our guy Jerome we mentioned. I believe, what are they called? Osh Productions. That's one of the vendors out there this weekend. They're coming up to film. I've heard a lot about their work. I've seen some of their stuff. They do a lot of great live streaming. I think they're down there in DC, based out of. This is going to be awesome from a standpoint of great competition and being able to give the game the exposure that it deserves. And we're really looking forward to being out there this weekend and covering what I think is going to be a great tournament.
I think Coach has joined us.
Let me see. Believe so. Then I go ahead.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, looks all right. Looks like your service might be having some issues. Okay, I think we got you now. Try again. There's your bandwidth
You
is
got
low.
me?
Yeah, okay. Now we
Yeah.
got you. That's a lot better. There we go.
Okay.
Introduce yourself to those who do not know.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Jamal. I coach the Lady Elite. I'm also coaching the women's 35 and over, the Dean with Legends. I'm helping them out. Been coaching Lady Elite for about 6 years now, since 2016. Me and I coach the defense. The other coach is Coach Duncan. He's the head coach of the team. He pretty much takes care of the offense. You know, played 8-man since about 2010, 2011. And then I stopped, and, you know, he asked me to come coach Lady Elite with Key and some of those players. And I just kind of fell in love with the game and just helping, you know, seeing, some of your speakers said, seeing some of these women transfer from running track and field, playing volleyball, playing softball, and using some of those same skill sets that they've learned and been athletes their whole life and transitioning that over to the football field. So, like, speaking for my team, and I can speak for, like, these ladies really, really work extremely, extremely hard. And the game is just growing. I know from when I was there, to even have a 35 and over that we can do at a Lynn Lewis is a big deal. Because, the men's game been doing 35 and over. So see the women's game growing, to see you got 10 teams, I think you have in the women's division, and then you probably got like another 17 to B. The women's game is coming an incredibly long way. And so, it's a testament to, the people like Mashonda's and even the coaches and the women putting the time and the effort in to grow the game. You see Team USA now, you see 5 women. So the game is growing, and we just need to continue to keep doing it.
And we're going to have it all on display. We mentioned the media out there. I got the full list right now. I apologize earlier for not quite everything on hand. Usually we got OS Sports Network. They're going to be out there. End Zone TV, Charisma Captured, Free Smoke Studio, Predator Productions being mentioned, Vibe Up TV, The Champ Circle, Team Blunt Talk. Who are those guys? AJA Entertainment, Del On Air, We Elite Sport, J. Aaron Photography, the Women's Flag Football Network, I Support Flag Football. Yeah, we got a lot of heavy hitters coming out there. Lee Football. It's going to be a lot of support this weekend from all sorts of personalities from the sport, all sorts of talent from the sport, all sorts of support coming in. This is going to be the best part, is seeing all this on display.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the best, probably 8 women's tournament and 5 women's, like the amount of people that's coming out to it. And, not to mention, we got to pat ourselves in the back. It's coming to DC. So, you're back home. We don't have to travel as much as in DC. Normally we travel everywhere. So, it's kind of, ironic that Mashonda did it in Washington, DC this year. So I'm glad that she did it. And I'm glad to see all the teams taking the time to actually travel that far and want to come up north, because most people don't want to come up north. Everybody wants to go down south. So it's kind of good that they want to come to the East Coast and have some fun, play some football, enjoy the time. The weather's not bad. It's going to be in October, so it's still going to be kind of nice. It'll be about 65, 70 degrees. It'll be nice. It won't be a 90, but it'll be good weather out here.
Supposed to be dry out there. No rain coming in, nothing like that. No risk of storms. Looks like we're doing well, aside unless something like that in nowhere. We're right at the summer rains thing, so we should be good there. You can never predict those, but you guys got a good game this upcoming weekend with the Atlanta Legends. Have you had any opportunity to see anything on this team? Have you seen them in other tournaments? Any history?
So I've never seen. I don't know who the Atlanta Legends have, but if they're from Atlanta, I've coached probably against some of the players that's going to be there, so it won't shock me to see. I'm interested to see who they have, because they the teams like Reloaded that used to and Blackout they used to play. I'm pretty sure some of those women are going to be on this team, so it's going to be interesting to see. I know I don't know if she's going to be on there, but I'll be shocked if they don't have Patrice on their team. She used to play for I believe Blackout and Reloaded. Every time I see her, I know she was playing for Bama Fire at one time, but it'll be good just to see some of these people, man. Like, we haven't seen them in a little while. So I have no idea who they have. So it's going to be fun. It'll be interesting. There's no game planning. We just going to go out there and we're going to figure it out on the fly.
That's the fun in tournaments, in my opinion. Going out there, seeing what you got, seeing what they got, and seeing who can play the best on the field against the unknown, because that's
exactly.
That's the one thing we travel for. We want to see the unknown. We want to see what's out there. What's the competition? Who can we face? Who can we beat? What is out there? How can we grow it? Because it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I think we're going to see more going forward. It's good to see a style specified in age group. I think that helps a lot. Especially as you get older and have competition on level. I know some guys talk about on our end how hard it gets to face younger players. They coming out there every year. especially with the training a lot of them get now. It's insane. The
Man, listen,
athletes are getting in high school now compared to what it's been.
you're getting older and they're getting younger. It's not a good mixture. It's not a good mixture.
Yeah. Trust me, I feel it. And I'm only 31.
Oh yeah, you a baby, man. You a baby. Get to 36 and tell me how the knees still feel afterwards, man. How your back and your shoulders feel, man.
My
You
back
still a
and my,
baby.
my back and my shoulders are not good. If I say like this, I might not get up for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, I can't tell you that it's been good to see a lot of some of the women that we have on our team, they probably haven't played in some years. So to see them, they're taking it, it's fun, but they're also taking it seriously because they've been working out and everything. So it's good to see that type of stuff. I told them they're gonna be real sore after these 2 games. You might want a 4 or 5, but you're gonna be real sore after these 2 games. Trust and believe me. It's gonna be some Epsom salt, some ice baths at the football field real quick.
Well, there will be massage therapists there available too. So SA is going to be there. So you know what? It'll all be worth it because especially for the women that don't play as regularly as they used to be, it's a big part of your life for many, many years. And it's your outlet, it's your solace, it's your place where you release stress and you form friendships and sisterhoods. It's your second family. So to be able to have that option to come back and play and be a part of it, it's opening a whole new door to extend the game for women. You can't ask for much more than that.
Facts. And that's across all ages when it comes to this 35 and up. You talk about the young athletes coming up now out of high school, the girls who are getting the opportunity that their mothers didn't get, their grandmothers didn't get, and that they and every girl after is just going to be better and better each passing time when it comes to playing the sport and being able to grow within the sport. And we talk about it, the collegiate level, the high school level. I do believe there was that announcement of the NFL partnership with college to do a collegiate sport for girls a while back. I may be a little off on that. And you see the growth of it compared to when we were growing up, because I never saw girls on the field. There was no girls football offered anywhere, no flag, no tackle, nothing to join them in, nothing, no touch even. They usually were just cheerleaders, and that was anything they were allowed to do when I was growing up. Which you look at it now, you're seeing more girls sports out there. We talked about a couple of years ago when Doom Squad came out and had 2 girls play on the defensive line against Broad Axe out there in league play. And how awesome that was to see 2 girls get out there and just play. And against guys who were giants in the sport, who had played many years. And they went out and did really well, actually. And you look at it and you get the opportunity now, they're going to get a chance this weekend and other girls across the world to see what the sport is. And I think it'll inspire a lot of girls out there to come out there themselves and play.
Joey, next year in Arizona, we're going to be offering a 7v7 collegiate women's division. And there will be a 17U and 14U divisions also open. So Mashonda is also and Zarek are expanding to add more divisions. Let's get these young girls around and involved in what we're doing. So their families and they can see that it doesn't end when you finish high school. It doesn't end when you finish college. You can do this well into your 40s. And then you can still be a part, you can have a career now, a career in flag football through the NFL. I mean, it's happening. It's the NFL has partners because they're funding these high school flag, at least in Georgia, that's what they did. Falcons are funding these high school programs getting started. So, and a lot of the ex-NFL players are realizing, and even coming up, like it's the sky is the limit. I think it's going to be on TV all the time within the next couple of years in all across all divisions.
I'm looking forward to seeing it in 2028. I believe it'll be in the Los Angeles Summer Olympics. The image to see girls out there playing flag football in an Olympic setting at SoFi Stadium, or even if they do choose to use the Coliseum or the Rose Bowl, I think will be a spectacle to see, because you talk about it with RFK this weekend, historic football venue, the amount of NFC championship games that was played there over the years, back when Washington played there back in the day. And now those girls get the opportunity to share in a pro stadium in the sport of football that was inspired to create flag football.
So we're gonna be, I'm not familiar with anything in DC. We're gonna be at the fields at RFK campus. Is that the same location that you're speaking of, or is that different?
It's the same.
Okay.
It's that area, yeah. It's the same. It was a stadium used in NFL play. I want to say RFK came about in the late 60s.
Okay.
And then it was left behind by Washington in 97 for FedEx Field ultimately. But I was actually there in 2015 for a 4th of July concert. It was a 12-hour event, great bands, great artists, Foo Fighters, Heart, Joan Jett. There was a blues artist, assembly of talent that was from almost every genre. And I think this tournament, this upcoming weekend, with the 5s divisions, the 8s divisions, 35 and up, contact, non-contact, you're going to see something similar to that event I attended in 2015, but on a scale of a flag football level like this one.
Just a side note for any friends and family, Mashonda will definitely want me to mention, the directors of the field are very adamant. On the fields, there's nothing but water, no food. They are going to have food vendors there, but please make sure that you understand there is $10 parking fee, and that you keep everything put away in your car, and no dogs. So if you bringing, I know for people who are coming from out of town to visit, or it's just, we want to make sure we abide by all the rules of the field directors and respect their area, and do everything that we're supposed to do to represent our tournament well.
This is going to be an awesome time this upcoming weekend at RFK. 2:00 p.m. is when everything is supposed to begin. As we mentioned, it'll be the 35 and over. Of course, you'll have pool play throughout Friday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday all day into the night, and then championships splintered in throughout the weekend into Sunday as well. 3-day event. And to me, those are the best kinds of events, because you see the most action, you see the most talent, you see the best games. And I can't think of a better setting than RFK Stadium this weekend for some great flag football action. And you're going to see some of the most talented women on display when it comes to this sport. Anyone else on the call? Who do we got? Latasha, I know you've been sitting quietly the entire time, and I feel bad about that. She was the second one in, but I have not addressed her yet. Let me try to get her to unmute real quick. Get her to speak as well. If she's by the phone, it's been a bit. I feel bad because she literally had joined in like right in the beginning, and I have not been able to get her on yet. Trying to get her. What else do we got? Thank you. Is there anything else anybody on here has to say about this upcoming event this weekend? Anything that needs to be out of the way, clarified, specified, for anybody who may be going, coaches, players, etc., to know?
No, Mashonda's been pretty good about communicating to all the coaches and teams and managers about the rules and regulations to respect the venue. Again, on Saturday, the block party is from 12 to 6. Actually, at the tournament, DJ Mim will be there and Kenny Sway will be performing. There will be apparel being sold, food vendors. There's a cake lady coming. There's a sweet tea lady coming. There's going to be a lot of options for if you just want to bring the family out. Bring your kids. Bring your grandkids. Bring people out. It's a family event. It's great for little boys too to see, like, wow, look at all these women out here playing this sport. So we're hoping that a lot of people from the community in the area will come out.
I'll be down there for sure. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a great time. Anything else tonight? Anybody have anything they want to get out of the way? Anything they want to mention? Any sort of thing that may be going on this weekend as well? I know I'm about good on my end. Enough in the chat. We'll be starting coverage earlier that morning. We'll do an announcement as soon as we arrive and have everything set up. We'll be going live. We'll be on Facebook, Joey Blaze. It's a public post. It can be shared anywhere. I do want to set up multi-stream, but that tends to be some extra steps that I got to figure out how to do for this weekend, just in case service tends to be a little awry sometimes. We're going to try to work out what we can do, but right now I can guarantee we'll be on Facebook at the very least. Could be on YouTube as well. We'll get back to you on that, but at the very least, you'll see the games on Facebook, and we'll have a list of what's going to be out there this upcoming weekend.
Joey, there's also a kickoff party on Friday. Focus Social Club, and the information on that is doors open at 8 p.m. The tournament will have people will have access to the first and second floors the entire night. General admission is $20. Half of what is collected between the door and advanced ticket sales will go towards the foundation, to Lynn Lewis Foundation, to support families who are fighting cancer. And there's a link Shonda has on her webpage that you can get tickets in advance. And there's VIP section tickets that you can also buy tables. So if you, there's also going to be a custom drink, she said, called the Pink October. So I don't know what's in it, but if whether you're a part of the tournament or not, the Focus Social Club is there's going to be a lot of women from the tournament there on Friday.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm glad that it's not just playing the sport. We're gonna have activities going on, food, drinks, events for the kids. This is one for the family. This is one especially for the girls. This is gonna be an awesome event this weekend. If you have nothing to do this weekend, no plans, something got canceled, and you happen to be able to make it down, I recommend coming down to RFK Stadium this weekend. Whether you got to take the train to get down or drive down, come on over. I think it'd be a great chance to see some great flag football action and to really take in what this event means.
You gonna say something, Barney?
Oh, go ahead, Coach.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say, to piggyback off y'all say, like the cause is, for the tournament is everything. You know what I mean? Like it's for breast cancer awareness, and like you said, you're gonna see probably some of the best football that you're gonna see. Part of the fact that it's later on in the year, so a lot of people have been playing all year round. So, the women are gonna be in so much better, conditioning, and they're just gonna be locked in. I think they're gonna see a beautiful brand of football. That if you haven't seen them play, you're unaccustomed. You're gonna truly enjoy yourself. Like I said, I fell in love with it just watching, seeing, some of these women and the things that they can do from just, running, jumping, the moves that they can create. It's evolving in such a level that it's a beautiful brand to actually come out there and watch. And like you said, if you don't have anything else to do, come out there, you're gonna enjoy yourself. Whether you're gonna enjoy the camaraderie, it's gonna be fun. The music, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a really good weekend. It's Lynn Lewis. Lady Elite went there in 2016, and he's been going to Lynn Lewis ever since, every single year. So, definitely come out. The women will love to support us. We can definitely make it Friday. Please come see some of these women that are some of the pioneers of this that started it. These women that you're gonna see that's 35 and over, some of these women are the pioneers of what started this years ago. And to see where the game is at now, you got to show your appreciation. You got to know where the game came from to appreciate where the game is going. So definitely come out there and check it out.
Facts. That's a huge fact.
Yeah.
And to see the growth of women's flag football and women playing football in general. Like I said, growing up, that was something that I never got to see like unless it was us playing in the backyard. And trust me, growing up, there were a lot of tough girls in the backyard who were ready to hit somebody on the field every time. And we were not wanting to have any contact whatsoever because we were afraid of them every time. And so I'm glad to see that girls are getting an opportunity to play in a sanctioned sport like flag football that allows them to go out there and thrive and play in a competitive atmosphere and allows them to grow as not just players, but people as well. And we talk about it. You can make whole careers out of it. Whether it be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Has anybody played almost 30 years? Do you happen to know, Michelle?
I stopped at 27. I don't know if I'm sure there is somewhere. I'm sure there is.
For what it's worth, the combined amount of years of me and Ross playing flag football was 7 years combined. No, wait, 6. 4 for you, 2 for me. 27. That's impressive. What was it in 93?
Okay, so in 93, I was a freshman in college and I didn't even know it was an intramural sport. And I was throwing the football with some guys in the yard, and the coach, who I didn't know, he said, "Hey, come here for a minute." And so I started playing intramurals. We traveled to New Orleans. University of New Orleans was where the collegiate nationals were every year. I went to school in Florida. I went to college in Jacksonville. And I played 7 women's and co-ed for years. My co-ed team, we did, Let It Fly I think it was called Let It Fly, was the NFL, Air It Out. I'm sorry, it was Air It Out. The NFL sponsored the Air It Out tournaments in the 90s. We played 4-man, we played 5-man. In college, my co-ed team won a tournament in North Carolina, and Nike paid for all of our flights to New Orleans, all of our hotels. I mean, this was 95, 96. They paid for everything, Nike. That was way back then. And then coming out of college, I moved to Atlanta in 99. I started playing club sport around here. And then I joined Mashonda's league in 2004. And it had already been around for a little while, but I played there, and I played there ever since. So there probably is other people, but 93, they didn't even make women's football uniforms. We wore men's football jerseys, the big ones, or we had
big shoulders and everything.
Yeah, they didn't have anything else. We wore t-shirts, and they were usually big men's sizes. All of the t-shirts we got for championships were all men's size t-shirts, all of them. Then even in the early 2000s, we would wear reversible basketball jerseys. That was so then to watch, we wore the baggy shorts, and now everyone's wearing tights. And back then we're like, we're in tights, little girl. And I remember I would never wear them. So everything has changed, and there's so many different. There's such an eclectic group of women that this sport has attracted. And it was a big part of my life, and this way it allows me to it's a big part of my life still. So I love watching the families and the sisterhoods, and the family from my original team. We still do everything together. There's a core of us that we've raised our kids. We still do holidays together. So it's beyond football, right? It's beyond football. You create families and you create memories into your adulthood that are priceless.
And we're here to capture the memories this upcoming weekend at the 15th annual Lynn Lewis Breast Cancer Awareness Women's Flag Football Tournament at RFK Stadium down there in DC. Coverage kicking off 2:00. I do believe there'll be some people out there on Friday doing some media work. We'll be out there Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be an awesome weekend ahead.
And if you see Mashonda Gilmore or Zarek Foster, give them your thanks. They spend countless hours, weeks, months behind the scenes preparing for this. It's way more work than I ever knew existed as a player. It's way more work that takes place. So they continue to do this work to provide a platform for women to be able to play and to honor Lynn and every survivor and the memories of people who have fought so hard against this horrible disease. So again, it's bigger than us. But if you see Miss Chandra, Eric, stop and thank them. Stop and thank them.
And Joey, I know Michelle knows now, and you know, I am a survivor. I was a beneficiary of Lynn Lewis funds last year, as was my husband. And unfortunately, he is one of those ones that didn't make it. And that's the thanks and the things that these women have done to build the sport for women and to help caregivers, because that's what I was. I am a survivor, but for the last 3 years, not only was I a fighter for part of that and then a survivor, I was a caregiver. And it's a role I would never wish on my worst enemy. But knowing that I had support from Zarek, I wish I'd have known Michelle sooner. But the support that I had from Zarek, from Mashonda, from Chu, from the people that I didn't even know that are part of this foundation meant the world. And it still means the world to me. So when I tell you guys that I am so honored to help, and I hope this is not the one and only time I get to help, I'm looking forward to making this a long-term assistance with this group, because I'm old. I mean, I'm older than dirt. I'm 50s. I definitely had no opportunity to play in school, play in high school. I played co-ed for a couple years with Team Petty. I played down at Nationals. I had a blast. I got to play with my husband and my son on the same team, the same co-ed squad. My son still plays in my league. And I would still be playing if I hadn't had a hip replacement, because I love it. So I hope this is not my one and only shot to help Lynn Lewis Foundation, because it meant the world to me. And I just hope that we can continue to help other people grow the sport, provide for the women and girls an outlet, and provide for those caregivers and those survivors and those fighters.
And I want to take a moment to give thanks to the Fosters as well as the Page family for all they've done for the sport of flag football, and especially for women's flag football. And I also want to say this upcoming weekend, remember Morven flag football, breast cancer awareness. You mentioned with Ken, breast cancer can happen in not just women, but men too. And that's something that the guys watching, who I know will be tuning in usually to watch our show, keep that in mind, fellas. It can also happen to you. And that's something that you definitely should get checked out, especially as you get older.
The man that started the Men's Breast Cancer Coalition, the man that was the key to that starting, which Kent and I both belong to, is after we found out, actually found his at 16. So it doesn't just have to be the older guys, and it's definitely not just women. Everybody has to take an active role in their health.
And that's something that a lot of us got to keep in mind. It's something that we don't think about a lot. We just go about our days. Sometimes we don't know till it's too late. I lost my uncle a few months ago to a different form of cancer. He didn't know until about 3 months prior to dying that he even had it. It was just simple as hip pain is all it was. And to him, it was just nothing, because hip pain, most of us guys, we go through pain, we go, it's whatever, it's nothing, we'll walk through it. But sometimes it's more than that. And I would say, get screened, get checked out, get with the doctor, because it's important to know before it's too late. Anyone on the call got anything else for this evening? Anything? I know we got a lot of games this weekend, got a lot of great media, a lot of fun events. The weather's going to be excellent, as mentioned. Going to be about a high of 71, I think, on Saturday. That's good weather. We're getting that October weather. The leaves be falling. It's football weather. Comes I've heard. It's going to be a little chilly, and we're going to be playing right there at a historic venue like RFK, where many great football games were held over the years. And you'll see this upcoming weekend women's flag football in action on a major stage. Anything else tonight, everyone? Got a lot of shaking heads of no. Latasha on still? It says she's there, but I don't know if she actually is at the phone for that. Keep hitting the unmute, but I don't know if she's actually there. I'm assuming not in this case. We appreciate her for coming out, though. Appreciate all of you for coming on here tonight. Bonnie, Michelle, Jamal, this is really awesome to have everybody here and talk about this great event, the 15th annual Lynn Lewis Breast Cancer Awareness Women's Flag Football Tournament, RFK Stadium. You can come down and see it, enjoy the action, take in the atmosphere, or watch it on the live, because we're going to have coverage all weekend. It's going to be great.
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Michelle, and
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you, Latasha. I know you're on the call still, but I don't know if you hear it, but thank you for it. Thanks, Mashonda. Thank you, Zarek. Thank you, Ross, for letting me host here.
That's me.
That's you. And I'm Joey Blaze. We'll see you this weekend for the 15th annual Lynn Lewis Breast Cancer Awareness Women's Flag Football Tournament. See you soon.